Okay, this video I'm going to be going through banana back in handstand. It's a problem that a lot, actually, to be honest, all of my students that have come to me wanting to learn handstand have struggled with this, at least to some degree. Some more than others, some really bananaing, some like not bananaing so much. So it's a kind of relatively easy fix. It does take a little bit of work and focus, but it can be fixed relatively quickly. So what I'm going to show you first is just normal banana back handstand, how it looks, right? And you can see if that's me or no, that's not me, right? You'll get to disclose that, right? So I go over and if I can even balance it, right? I'm about here, right? Kind of not really open with the shoulders. It's an uncomfortable position, but it does help, right? The reason we do it is because the balance isn't as hard if we have a lot to kind of just motion and move with here. We don't really need to stack, and it's not really as precise on the hands or fingers. Wow, I need to find a better spot for this. Here's a better spot, right? So you can see like what the banana looks like. What does a straight handstand look like now? So if I go up and I'm pushing tall, right, core inch, and I'm extended like so. Hopefully that looks good enough. So two different kinds of handstands. I'm not sure if I'm still in frame. How do we get from the banana, this arching, to the full handstand? There's two different things. There's two things that is upsetting you not being able to do the full handstand or the straight handstand. The first one is with the shoulders. You can see that when I'm in the banana, my shoulders are not open. They're slightly like this. So I'm kind of leaning forwards into the position. I'm leaning over my hands, right? And what that does is, because I'm leaning this way or I'm not stacked on top, right? My body is going that way. I need to create balance over, right? I need to open up, because if I was straight, that's going to be a lot of pressure on my kind of wrist, fingers, because I'd have to lean almost into like a planche as I do this, right? If I'm straight, hold on, if I can get to the position, there you go, right? It's a lot of pressure on the wrist. That's why we have to go over to rebalance it so that it comes to around here instead of all the way over here, right? So the bananaing part is just a result of you not being open in the shoulders or not being able to be open in the shoulders. So you will always you will always banana if you can't open the shoulders. So the first stage is learning to open up those shoulders. How do we do this? I don't have a tree round here right now, but it's going to be by mobilizing the shoulders. First, to build the flexibility, you need to stretch and open up the lats. While you're doing that, you also need to learn to push against the wall and push the shoulders in. So let's imagine there's a wall behind me here. I'm going to go up into the handstand, right? And there's a wall behind me here, right? So I can either do my pike slide downs, right? Slide my legs down the wall and then push through the shoulders, really opening up, really trying to rotate the shoulders in. You see that? That's an important part. This rotation of the shoulders going in, right? I have more flexibility with them rotated in than I do with them rotated out, right? That's why this stretch is going to be a lot harder if you're on the lat stretch than this stretch. You can go a lot higher, okay? So opening those shoulders up, you need to be drilling those in, making sure that you're opening, I've already said that, but making sure that you're getting enough kind of load or stress on the shoulders to push them into that range of motion, right? Then we can start to focus on building the core once we have that range of motion, right? Because the core is still loose, is still kind of doing whatever it wants to do. So how do we make sure that it gets what it does what it wants to do? I'm going to show you my abs here. Let me see. So first thing, right? When we're actually in the handstand position, we need to try and breathe the air out. Make sure the mic isn't too close, but we're going to breathe the air out. So it's almost like we're going into a suction motion, or what's it called again? I forgot the name of it, but it'll come back to me. But you're pushing all of the air out, vacuum, that's it, right? So I'll be like this, all air is out, and then I start breathing again. You see my core doesn't expand. So I'm breathing, again, I'm breathing, but within this space I have. So I'm not taking deep breaths. It's just shallow breaths, with as much space as I can occupy within that kind of closed boundary. This is what keeps my handstand structured, and it will also help with your balance once you learn to do this, because you're not going to be moving around as much. There's not going to be as much movement, so you get to actually just stay in that position a lot better. There's not going to be as much upsetting your balance. But what this does is, once I'm in this position, my legs cannot go behind me to a certain amount, right? I've gotten that tightened position. I can't get my legs or thrust my hips around, right? As long as there's tension, I can't go back. Once I release that tension, I can go back, right? It's release. But bringing that core in will bring me up, right? So how will that look in the handstand? Right, so I'm here, I'm loose. That's what's going to happen. I draw in the core. I cannot go anywhere. I'm structurally sound. I'm feeling my core. And that's how you do, wait, let me see if I'm in frame. That's how you do your handstand. I'm going to have to cut or make sure that I'm in frame here. What I was going to say, yeah. One more thing, right? A lot of you, when you're kind of overbalancing, because this will be the result that happens if you don't correct this as well, right? You tend to overbalance, especially if you're like straight, or like you don't have a bend in your shoulders while you're doing the banana, right? You've got good mobility, which is good, but now you're bananaing, so you just constantly fall out, right? A lot of you will try and dig into the ground more rather than correcting your core, right? Think about it this way. Your fingers are fine tuning. They shouldn't be taking any stress. You don't want to give them that much stress, especially like when you're new. A lot of people just start to injure themselves that way because there's too much stress for like our hands aren't really meant for handstanding. But the core can take that stress. So when you start to banana there, the first thing that you should practice thinking is core. Like each time, your fingers will naturally dig in to the degree that they need to. You don't need to worry about your fingers. As long as you know the motions, then just let your fingers do what they need to do. Press in, feel, balance. You can give your focus. You can put your focus here, but don't focus on, I really want to stress it. No, just think about the core, right? If you're going over with the legs, core, engage it, right? As you get better and better at this, you'll learn to engage the core better and better, and you'll get to feel better and better with this, right? It's not going to be like a thing that happens straight away as soon as you think about core. It takes practice, right? But anyways, that is it for the video on banana handstands. I hope this has helped. And if you do want any help with your calisthenics or like your handstands or anything like that, any skill that you're looking to work on, you want to make steady progress and also enjoy your training, make sure like it's like more like a game, right? Then there's a link in the description for you to check out, and there's also going to be a link in the description for a Facebook group where you can kind of submit form reviews and get a little bit of feedback. Anyways guys, that is it. Thank you for all of you that have subscribed, liked the video, are kind of watching the videos. Thank you to all you guys, and peace out.